They mocked the maid for having no date. Until the Mafia boss walked in with her, the penthouse should have been silent at that hour, past midnight, when Manhattan's chaos finally dulled into a distant hum. Adrian Vale lived for that silence, but tonight it cracked. A thin, uneven sound slipped through the hallway. Not footsteps, not the building settling. Something fragile. Something human. Adrian stopped near the entrance, head tilting slightly. There it was again, a trembling breath, the kind someone tries to hide, the kind someone gives when they're losing the fight to stay composed. He followed it toward the kitchen. Mara Linton stood by the counter, maid uniform still on, shoulders shaking as she swiped tears off her cheeks. Her ponytail was messy from the long shift. Mascara smudged under tired eyes. She looked young, breakable, and terrified that anyone might see her like this. She sensed him before he spoke. Her head snapped up, eyes wide, breath caught. Embarrassed. "Yes, sir. Adrian. Sorry. I didn't mean to disturb anything." She tried to stand straighter, to smile, but her face betrayed her. More tears. More trembling. Adrian stilled. He'd seen men terrified of him. He'd seen rage, agony, fear. But sadness, soft, aching sadness, on Mara? He wasn't prepared for that. "You're not disturbing me," he said, voice lower than intended. She nodded quickly, staring at the floor. "I'm fine." "No," he murmured, stepping closer. "You're not." His own words surprised him. Adrian Vale did not speak gently. Not in meetings, not in threats, not in life. But Mara had always been the exception he never acknowledged. Hard-working, quiet, kind in ways he didn't know how to handle. She apologized when others bumped into her. She asked if he'd eaten even though it wasn't her job. She made his fortress feel like a home. Seeing her like this twisted something in his chest. "Did someone hurt you?" he asked. She shook her head too quickly. "No. It's stupid. Just nothing." "Mara." His tone softened. "Look at me." She didn't, but she stopped pretending. After a long silence, she whispered, "It's the girls from my nursing program." His jaw tightened. "Why?" Her eyes glistened. "Because I don't have anyone to take to the graduation gala. No friends. No family. And because they think it's pathetic that I work as a maid." A sharp, lethal anger surged through him. "Who are these girls?" His voice was controlled steel. "It doesn't matter," she rushed. "Everyone listens to them. They said things they shouldn't have. And I just wanted this year to feel different." She laughed once, small and broken. "It wasn't." Adrian leaned against the counter, trying to soften his stance. "And you said nothing back." She shook her head, ashamed. "I don't know how to. I never do." Her honesty hit him harder than the insult itself. "So you're not going to the gala?" he asked quietly. "No," she whispered. "There's no point." She hesitated. "I was looking at dresses online earlier. I found a red one. It was beautiful. But I can't afford it. And I don't want to show up alone, looking out of place." Red. The word lodged deep in his mind. He exhaled, opened the fridge, not because he needed anything, but to think. He grabbed the first bottle he saw. Mara blinked. "That's coffee creamer." He looked down at it. "It says vanilla." She let out a tiny, shaky laugh. And just like that, the tension in his chest loosened. He didn't understand why her smile mattered so much, but it did. He set the bottle down and stepped closer again. "Mara," he said softly, "why do you think you don't belong at this gala?" Her shoulders sagged. "Because everyone has someone proud of them. Someone cheering for them. I'll have no one." I'll look like the girl who came because she didn't want to be alone at home." "That's not who you are." She looked up, surprised by the certainty in his voice. "How would you know?" she whispered. Adrian moved closer, close enough for her breath to catch. "Because I see you," he said, "even when you think no one does." Her pulse fluttered visibly at her throat. "And going alone," she murmured. "It just feels pointless." "Who said you're going alone?" His voice dropped lower. A shift. A warning. A promise. She blinked. I don't have a date." He leaned in, close enough for the air between them to warm. "Are you sure?" he asked. The question froze her. Before she could respond, he stepped back, regaining his composure. "We'll talk tomorrow," he said. "Don't decide anything tonight." He reached the doorway, paused, and looked back. "Mara," he said quietly, "if someone makes you cry again, I want their names." She stared after him, heart pounding too fast. And one question echoed in her mind long after he left. What did he mean, "Are you sure you don't have a date?" Mara reached the penthouse early the next morning, more awake than she felt. She hadn't slept. Not after Adrian's voice kept circling in her mind. "Are you sure?" The question pulsed under her ribs like a heartbeat she couldn't quiet. She tried cleaning to distract herself. Living room. Kitchen. Hallway. But every small sound made her turn toward the elevator. At 9:12 a.m., it chimed. Her pulse jumped. Adrian stepped out, already in a black button-up, sleeves tight at his forearms, hair slightly tousled, like he'd argued with sleep and won. He held a folder under his arm, but his eyes found her instantly. "Morning," he said. Her breath caught. "Good morning, sir." He watched her too long. Not long enough. "When you finish here," he said, "come to my office. We have something to discuss." Her stomach tightened. Discuss could mean anything. "Yes," she whispered. He nodded toward her hands. "You're gripping that pillow like it owes you money." She looked down. She was strangling a throw pillow. Heat rushed to her cheeks as she set it down. "Sorry. I'll come now if you want." He tilted his head once. "Come." The walk to his office felt longer than usual. His office was intimidating. Dark wood, clean lines, a window overlooking the entire city. Adrian gestured for her to step closer. "Stand here," he said, right at the edge of his desk. Close enough to feel the heat of him. Her pulse hammered. He leaned against the desk, arms crossed, gaze sharp. "The gala," he said. "Next Friday." She nodded. "Yes." "What time?" 7. "And the location?" She told him. He absorbed every detail like he was memorizing a map of enemy territory. Then he stepped away from the desk and toward her, slow, deliberate, measured. "Do you still plan on skipping it?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I just don't want to embarrass myself again." "You didn't embarrass yourself," he said. "They did." His voice sharpened. "Yes." She blinked at how firmly he said it. He stepped closer, so close she felt the warmth radiating off him. "And if you did go," he asked quietly, "who would you go with?" She swallowed. "I told you. I don't have anyone." A small, dangerous pause. "Maybe you do." Her breath hitched. She lifted her eyes to him slowly. His gaze didn't soften, it deepened. "Yes, sir." "Adrian." She froze. "It's okay," he murmured. "Say it." She swallowed. "Adrian." Something flickered behind his eyes. Something he didn't hide fast enough. "Good," he whispered. Her heart pounded louder. "Now answer me," he said softly. "Would you go if you had a date?" I don't know. I don't even know what to wear." "You'll wear red," he said immediately. Red. You said you liked a red dress you saw online. His voice dipped lower. It suits you. Her cheeks warmed. He remembered. You would look beautiful in red, he added quietly. She felt dizzy. Adrian raised his hand slowly, giving her room to step back. She didn't. His fingertips brushed her chin, lifting her face gently. Mara, he said, voice barely above a whisper. You deserve to go with someone who sees your value. Her breath stopped. And if you let me, he paused, eyes locked on hers. I'll take you. She froze. You would go with me, she whispered. I'm not offering out of pity, he said. I'm offering because I want to. Her knees nearly gave out. But people will stare. Let them. They'll talk. They already do. And those girls. They'll regret it. She let out a nervous laugh. You can't fight them, Adrian. I don't have to, he murmured. My presence will be enough. He took her hand, light, careful, but firm. You belong anywhere you choose to stand, he said. And if anyone makes you feel small again, I'll be beside you. Her eyes filled with something warm. I don't want to force you, she whispered. You're not. His thumb brushed the back of her hand. I'm choosing this. She breathed shakily. Then, I guess I'll go. Adrian's gaze flicked to her lips. He caught himself, barely, and pulled back a fraction. Good, he said, voice low. I'll make arrangements. Arrangements? She didn't have time to ask. He released her hand slowly, too slowly, like he wasn't ready to let go. Before she reached the door, he spoke again. Mara. She turned. You still don't know the effect you'll have when you walk in wearing that red dress. Heat rushed to her cheeks. He smirked, rare, subtle, devastating. And she left the office with a heartbeat she couldn't calm and a truth she couldn't ignore. Whatever Adrian Vale intended, the gala was only the beginning. Thursday afternoon felt like any other, until the intercom buzzed. Mara nearly dropped the stack of towels she was folding. Yes, she answered. Adrian's voice flowed through the speaker, low and controlled. Come downstairs. The driver is waiting. Her heart skipped. Downstairs. I told you I'd make arrangements. Arrangements. You need a dress, he continued. Bring your bag if you have class later. I've handled the hours. She opened her mouth, but he'd already hung up. Mara stared at the intercom. A dress. He meant it. Her hands shook as she grabbed her bag and hurried downstairs. Outside, a sleek black car idled at the curb. The driver stepped out immediately. Miss Linton, he said politely. Mr. Vale asked me to take you to the boutique. The boutique. Her voice cracked. Yes, miss. He may meet you there. Might meet you there. Her stomach twisted. She climbed in, pressing her trembling hands into her lap as the car pulled into traffic. Manhattan blurred past in streaks of gold and gray. She told herself to breathe. It was just a dress. Except it wasn't. The boutique looked nothing like the places she usually walked past. Tall windows. Spotlit gowns. Floors so polished they reflected her anxieties. The door opened before she could touch it. Miss Linton, a woman greeted warmly. I'm Celeste. Mr. Vale called ahead. Of course he did. Celeste smiled knowingly. We've been expecting you. Mara's cheeks warmed. These dresses look expensive. Everything is taken care of, Celeste assured. He only asked for one thing. Mara swallowed. What? To find a dress that makes you feel beautiful. The words nearly buckled her knees. Celeste led her deeper into the boutique. Racks weren't crowded. Each dress seemed placed with intention. scarlet silks, deep burgundies, shades of red that held their own gravity. He mentioned red, Celeste said. Of course he had. They sifted through gowns, some too tight, some too dramatic, some far too glamorous for someone like her. Mara tried several on, stepping out of the fitting room each time, unsure, awkward, apologizing for simply existing. Celeste was patient. Pretty. Not quite. Almost. Then she lifted the last dress. A deep, rich red. Elegant, fitted bodice, smooth line down the skirt. Thin straps. A shape that whispered confidence without demanding attention. Mara's breath caught. "I can't pull that off," she whispered. "You haven't tried," Celeste said gently. "And something tells me this is the one." Mara took the dress with trembling hands. Inside the fitting room, she slipped it on, and the world shifted. The fabric hugged her gently, falling over her hips in a way that made her feel different, taller, brighter, seen. She stared at herself in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman looking back. "Mara," Celeste called. "Are you okay?" "I think so. Can I see?" "A beat." Then, "Okay." She stepped out. Celeste's smile bloomed instantly. "There she is." Mara flushed. "Good or bad?" "Very good," Celeste said. Mara turned toward the mirror outside the fitting area. The lighting caught the red perfectly. She looked like someone who belonged beside Adrian Vale. And that terrified her. Footsteps sounded at the front door. Steady. Familiar. Her heart stopped. Celeste whispered, "He's here." Of all the moments, it had to be now. Mara froze as those footsteps drew closer, each one sparking through her nerves. Then Adrian turned the corner. He stopped. His breath stilled. His eyes traveled from the hem of the dress slowly upward, tracing every line, every curve, every trembling inch of her. He didn't hide the way he looked at her. Mara's voice cracked. I can change. If it's too much, I probably look ridiculous." "Mara," he cut in, voice rough. "Don't finish that sentence." She blinked. "You look," his jaw tensed, "incredible." Heat rushed up her neck. Celeste stepped away discreetly, giving them space. Adrian walked closer, each step unhurried, controlled, but she felt the shift in the air. "Turn," he murmured. She hesitated, then did. The dress flowed as she moved. He exhaled softly. Not loud. Not dramatic. Real. Again. She walked toward him, trying not to trip. The skirt swayed, catching the lights. He watched every movement. When she stopped in front of him, his gaze lifted to her face, lingering. "Everyone at that gala," he said quietly, "will look at you first." "That sounds terrifying," she whispered. "It sounds accurate." She laughed nervously. "I've never had anything like this." "You do now." Her eyes widened. "Adrian, you can't buy this." "I can't let you." "You can," he said. "And you will." His voice softened. "This isn't a favor. It's preparation." "For what?" "For walking beside me." Her breath trembled. Celeste returned with red heels. Mara stepped into them, wobbling slightly. "I'm going to fall," she whispered. "If you do," Adrian said, "I'll catch you." She looked up. He didn't blink, didn't hesitate, didn't hide anything. For a moment, the world shrank to two breaths in the same air. Celeste broke the silence. "I'll wrap everything up." Adrian nodded but didn't look away from Mara. "You really don't have to do all this," she whispered. "You keep saying that," he murmured, "and I keep ignoring it." Her chest warmed painfully. "You're very stubborn." "Only when it matters," he said. "And you matter." Her heartbeat stumbled. He stepped closer, too close. "Next time you wear that dress," he said softly, "I won't be seeing it in a boutique." She swallowed. "Then where?" He held her eyes. "When I walk into that gala with you." Her knees nearly gave out. "And what will you be thinking?" she whispered. A slow, dangerous smile curved his mouth. "That for the night." His voice dropped. "You're mine." She couldn't breathe. And she didn't want to. The night of the gala arrived before Mara felt ready. Her tiny bedroom glowed faintly with the soft red reflection of the dress hanging on the door. She stared at it for a long moment, breathing through nerves that crawled beneath her skin. "It's just one night," she whispered to herself. But her heart knew better. She slipped into the dress carefully. The fabric settled over her like a memory, warm, familiar, dangerous. Her hair fell in soft waves. The heels made her taller, or maybe it was the way the dress changed the way she carried herself. Her phone buzzed. "Adrian, your car is waiting downstairs. Take your time. I'll meet you at the entrance." Her pulse hammered. She grabbed her purse, stepped outside, and let the city pull her toward something she still didn't fully understand. The university ballroom glowed gold under the evening lights. Students swarmed in clusters. Music drifted into the night. Then the black car pulled up, drawing brief glances, curiosity, confusion, envy. The moment she stepped out, she saw him. Adrian Vale waited at the bottom of the steps in a tailored black suit that fit him like armor. His hair was swept back, shadows catching the sharp lines of his jaw. But the real punch came when he looked up. He went still. His gaze swept over her slowly, reverently. Not possessive. Not shy. Just struck. Mara's knees wobbled. She lifted a trembling hand. "Is it okay?" Adrian inhaled once, almost sharply. "It's more than okay." He offered his arm. She slid her hand into the crook of his elbow, and the tension in him tightened, as if the simple contact cost him focus. "Ready?" he asked. "No," she whispered. "Good," he murmured. "Neither am I." They walked up the steps together. She nearly tripped on the third one, but Adrian caught her waist with one hand, firm, steady, grounding. "Careful," he murmured against her ear. "You're safe with me." Her heartbeat nearly burst. The ballroom doors opened. Conversation died instantly. Not faded, died. 100 eyes turned. Professors froze. Students forgot their drinks. And the girls who had mocked her, Madison, Harper, Elise, went pale. Harper whispered, "No way." She brought him. Madison dropped her glass. Adrian's arm tightened subtly around Mara, drawing her closer. He leaned in. "Are those the ones?" She blushed. "Yes." "But don't." "I just want to know who I'm ignoring," he said calmly. Her laugh almost broke free. They reached the refreshment table. Mara's hands trembled as she accepted the water he handed her. "You're shaking," he said softly. "I'm trying not to." "Don't." His gaze warmed. "They're looking at you because they've never seen anyone walk in the way you just did. Not because you don't belong." Her throat tightened. Before she could reply, a voice cut through the air. "Well, well. Mara Linton actually came." Madison. Her smile was venom dressed in pearls. Adrian turned slowly, expression flat, cold, unreadable. "And you must be," Madison began. "Someone who wasn't speaking to you," Adrian cut in. Madison blinked. "Excuse me." "If you're going to approach her," he said quietly, "you'll do it with respect." Harper scoffed. "We were just surprised the maid showed up." Adrian's voice dropped. "That's enough." Not loud. Not angry. Just final. The girls scattered. Mara exhaled shakily. "You didn't have to step in." "I did," he said. "I don't tolerate garbage." Her cheeks warmed. The music shifted into something slow and warm. Adrian glanced at the dance floor, then at her. "Dance with me." "Adrian, I'm terrible." "I'll lead." She hesitated only a second before placing her hand in his. He pulled her gently into the crowd. His hand slid to her waist, steady and firm, while their fingers intertwined. The moment he touched her, her body softened against him. She looked up. "I'm stepping on your shoes, aren't I?" "Not yet." "I will. I'll survive," he murmured. Her laugh trembled. "You're shaking again." "I'm dancing with you," she whispered. His grip tightened slightly at her waist. "That's the point." They swayed slowly, her head near his shoulder, his breath brushing her temple. For a brief moment, everything else faded, the lights, the people, the music. Just him. Just her. Just heat and gravity. When the song ended, he didn't let her go. "Mara," he said softly. She lifted her face. "This night," he murmured, "you have no idea what it's doing to me." Her breath hitched. "To you." He opened his mouth to say more, but the microphone crackled. "Students, please gather near the stage for recognition awards." Mara stiffened. "Oh no, I forgot. They call everyone up." Adrian frowned. "You don't want to go." "I don't want everyone staring at me." He took her hand. "You won't be standing alone. Adrian, you can't just walk on stage." "Watch me." Her legs nearly gave out. The room shifted, brighter, louder, pulling her towards something terrifying. But his hand stayed wrapped around hers, quiet, warm, certain. And the truth hit her harder than the music. She wasn't standing beside danger. She was standing beside a man who would burn the whole room down. Before he let her feel small again, Mara stood at the edge of the stage with the other students, pulse thudding in her ears. Lights flashed hot across her face. The crowd blurred. She could barely breathe. Adrian noticed. "You're nervous," he murmured behind her. She nodded. "Everyone's looking at me." "No," he corrected softly. "They're looking at us." Her heart flipped. "Go," he said gently. "I'll be right here. Look for me if you need to." So she stepped forward, joining the others. Her hands trembled, her posture wobbled, but every few seconds she glanced sideways. And every time, Adrian Vale was there, watching only her. Not impatient, not possessive, just present, grounded, unshakable. When her name was called, she stepped forward, breath tight, vision swimming. Applause scattered through the room. She didn't hear any of it, but she saw him. Adrian stood. Not politely, not casually. He stood like she'd done something extraordinary. Her eyes burned, but she kept her chin up. She accepted her recognition and descended the stairs carefully. Adrian was waiting at the bottom, offering his hand with no hesitation. "You did well," he said quietly. "All I did was stand there." "That's not what I saw." Heat spread through her chest. After the ceremony, the room returned to music and chatter. Exhaustion settled into her limbs, especially her feet. Adrian noticed instantly. "Sit. Before you fall." She smiled weakly as he guided her to a quieter corner behind a tall arrangement of red and gold flowers. The noise softened. The lights dimmed into warm shadows. "My toes are numb," she whispered. "That's normal." She grinned. "Have you worn heels?" "No," he said. "But I've caught enough people in them to recognize the symptoms." She laughed, a soft, nervous sound that loosened his jaw just slightly. Then she looked at him. Really looked. And the question that had been circling her all night finally slipped out. "Why did you come, Adrian?" He paused, eyes searching hers. Not long, but long enough to say the answer mattered. "I told you," he said. "You shouldn't have gone alone." She shook her head. "That's not all of it." He exhaled slowly. "No," he said. "It's not." His hand brushed hers, warm and careful. "Mara, The night I saw you crying in my kitchen, it bothered me more than it should have. I didn't know how to fix it. I only knew I couldn't ignore it." Her breath trembled. "And tonight," he continued, voice low, "I wanted you to feel something they never gave you." "What?" she whispered. "That you matter." Her throat tightened painfully. "And," he added quietly, "maybe I wanted an excuse to spend time with you outside the penthouse." She blinked hard. "You, what?" His lips almost curved. "Almost. I'm not complicated, Mara. It feels complicated." "That's because it is." Silence stretched between them, soft, charged, not uncomfortable. Then her knees shifted, the slit in her dress parting slightly. Adrian's eyes flicked downward. Just a second. But she felt it. Heat flared under her skin. "You keep looking at me like that," she whispered, "and I'm going to fall off this chair." He leaned in, voice dropping. "Like what?" She swallowed hard. "Like you want something you're not supposed to want." His jaw flexed, not in anger, but restraint. "Maybe I do," he said. Her breath shook. He lifted his hand slowly, giving her the chance to move. She didn't. His fingers brushed her cheek, warm and deliberate. "From this," he murmured. And he kissed her. Not tentative. Not unsure. A kiss that started slow, deepened fast, and stole every breath she had. Her fingers curled into his shirt. His hand slipped to the small of her back, pulling her closer, claiming without force, without question. His mouth tasted like mint and heat. When he finally broke away, they were both breathless. "Adrian," she whispered. "Tell me to stop," he said softly, "and I will." She shook her head. "I don't want you to stop." His eyes darkened with something he could no longer hide. But then, hesitation. Quiet, subtle, real. "What's wrong?" she breathed. He looked away briefly, then back at her with raw honesty. "I don't want to drag you into something dangerous without understanding what it means." "What does it mean?" she whispered. "It means you'll matter to me more than anyone else," he said. "And that has consequences." She didn't flinch. "And I'm afraid," he admitted, "that I won't be what you deserve." She reached for his hand without thinking. "You don't get to decide that for me." He stared at her like she'd cracked something open inside him. "You want me anyway?" he asked quietly. "Yes," she said. "I do." He inhaled, the sound soft and shaky. He cupped her face in both hands. "I needed to hear that," he whispered. "Then, Mara, I want you in my life. Not as an employee. Not hidden. As my woman." Her pulse stopped. "If you'll have me," he added. "I've been thinking about you since the day I met you," she whispered. "Every night." A quiet, stunned smile touched his lips. Not smug. Not arrogant. Human. "Come here," he murmured. She melted into his arms. His embrace was warm, certain, fierce in the way a man holds something he finally admits he needs. After a long moment, he pulled back just enough to look at her properly. "There's one thing I need to ask," he said. Her breath caught. "What is it?" "If we do this," he murmured, "I don't want you hiding us. Not from your life. Not from your future. When you walk across that graduation stage, you'll see me." Her eyes stung. "I'm not ashamed of you." His gaze softened. "Good. Because I'm not ashamed of you either." Weeks passed, quiet, warm, steady. Adrian drove her home after shifts. Brought her food while she studied. Learned her schedule. Made space for her in ways she never expected. And when graduation day arrived, Mara stood among her class, purple stole over her shoulders, heart racing. She scanned the crowd. 5th row. Dark suit. Unmistakable presence. Adrian Vale. Their eyes met. He lifted his chin slightly, a private acknowledgement that hit her like sunlight. "Deborah, Mara Linton," the announcer said. She stepped onto the stage. Applause filled the auditorium. But she heard only the sound of her pulse, and saw only him. He stood. Proud. Certain. Hers. She blinked back tears as she accepted her diploma. When she found him in the courtyard afterward, he slipped an arm around her waist, pulling her gently toward him. You did it, he murmured. She smiled through emotion. We did. He brushed her cheek. There's something I need to ask you. Her breath froze. Mara, move in with me. The world went still. He wasn't asking for convenience. He wasn't asking impulsively. He was asking because he loved her. She felt it everywhere. Yes, she whispered. I want that. Relief and joy broke across his face in a way she'd never seen. He lifted her, spun her, held her as if letting go would be impossible. When he set her down, he pressed his forehead to hers. I'm yours, he whispered. Completely. So am I, she breathed. He kissed her softly, deep, warm, a promise sealed in breath and heartbeat. Ready for our life? He asked. I've been ready, she said, since the night you found me crying in the kitchen. He exhaled, brushing his thumb along her cheek. I'll never let you cry alone again. And Mara Linton stepped into her future hand in hand with the man who chose her, fought for her, and loved her in ways she never dreamed possible.